In the early days, they had a lot of needs and reached a height of 3 feet. At that time, when we were to convert into a garden, we had to shovel the ground and cut down the trees. Every Saturday and Sunday, we were busy and sweat a lot. After that, we asked the professionals how to grow organically.
After reclaiming from the wasteland, this area attracts
When you help your people, others,
to join
it feels
in
pretty
work.
good. We are all retired, and especially when they say thank you to you, I can help when they have received the items. I can learn a lot.
I have always thought you were wasting chauffeur drivers have been able to receive 20 kilograms of rice and 2 large portions of 8 items, but they have not kept it all
Volunteers
to
reserved
themselves.
space between planting eggplant to give it room for growth.
From the Unia
Some
and
other
Tzu we have
vegetables
received
are
help.
also grown
If I get
here,
10 cans,
such as
I would share
Japanese
2 or 3 with my neighbors.
white radish, and Chinese flowering
As
cabbage.
the pandemic
I'm used to
severely
volunteering at the
impacted the
recycling
tourism
station every
sector
Saturday,
and the
and I like
citywide
being close to nature.
lockdown, tricycle
This land
drivers
is not
have
left to
had
us by
no
our
income
ancestors,
coming in.
but we borrowed it from our
Tzu
children
held a
and
distribution
grandchildren,
before the
so we
year-end
must take good
holidays
care of it
to
and
help.
return it to them.
Marie Ann
To
Villanueva
get more people into the
insisted on
vegetable
bringing her
garden,
husband, who
it was
has
Xiao
had 2
Yiguang,
strokes,
the
to
head of the
express
recycling
their
station,
gratitude.
who decided to
you
take
provide
over
for
the
us
purpose
is
of this
extremely
project.
helpful.
We still have a staff left from the last
When we went to the
distribution.
Ministry of
This is
Agriculture,
such a great
we thought
help
that
for our
beautiful
family.
plants would naturally
We are so
attract more
grateful
people.
to Tzu.
When they walk in, we can introduce vegetables to them, and then slowly talk
When we
about
see their
Tzu Chi.
smiles upon
Then we can
receiving the
talk about the
items,
meaning
we are
of
happy
cherishing
as well.
the philosophy of Tzu Chi, and come
Over
to join
4,000
volunteering.
drivers head home
We are
with
going
their
to have a
baskets
Blessing Day
filled.
event.
Their
The first one will be on
joyousness
December
will surely
19th.
spread
We will
to
sell
the rest of
secondhand
the city.
things, and of course our vegetables.
When the
In Kedah,
vegetable
Malaysia,
harvest
a
is
Tzu
not
Chi
good
recipient
and the
lives in a
prices
house
are
lacking
on the
repairs,
rise,
causing
the
a roof to leak
eggplant
water into a
grown
living
by
space.
volunteers in
Volunteers
the
arrived to
recycling
renovate the
station
roof and made a
can
bed
be
for the
used
family.
in their own kitchen for charity, or sold to help more
The
people
sink
in
and
need.
roof here has
The
to be
most
changed.
important thing is to
Years of
complete the
lacking
concept
repairs,
of
the
cherishment
house, whenever
to
encountering
the
rain,
public.
will leak water
Recruit
into the living
volunteers
space.
and give
Since
environmental
Tzu Chi volunteers
protection
are here
concepts.
often, they want to help the family
Christmas
out.
around the corner, Australia Gold
We are
Coast
here to change the
volunteers
roof of a house
hosted
a
an
care
end-of-year
recipient lives
distribution
in.
for
Because
care
of leaks, we
recipients,
already wanted to
benefiting
repair the roof
156
before.
families
We couldn't
with
find a
30
person to
US dollar
help us
cash
do
cards,
so.
dried goods,
Gladly
towels,
we
and other
met
supplies.
Brother Oi
I'll
Foi
leave you
An,
with these
who told us
images.
he wanted
Thank
to
you for
help,
watching.
so we are here today
Goodbye.
to renovate.
Though volunteers had the intention, they lacked a professional worker for roof repairs. After noticing the need, Wang Peirong joined in, allowing the renovation plan to go smoothly.
After renovation, the roof won't leak again. Doing this makes me happy. In the past, when it rained, the old roof would leak water into the house. After placing the new roof, when it rains, there will no longer be leaks.
Besides changing the roof and sink, volunteers also made a wooden bed for the family.
Tzu Chi is great. To the family, too. In the past few days, Sister Hui Fang told me that on Thursday we have to repair the roof. Last night she called me again to tell me to check the roof in the morning. She's a great person. She really cares about this family.
Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers, for renovating our house. Thank you, everyone.
The 3-day renovation project
Docks.
turned
You
the
can
house
select
into a fresh
multiple.
living space. The loving hearts of volunteers have provided a home with a roof for the family. Rohingya refugee Rumazar raises 2 children by herself. Due to the pandemic, she lost her job at a clothing store, but her condition of psoriasis made life even tougher. Upon noticing her situation, city volunteers provided Rumazar with a second-hand sewing machine, allowing the mother to make income for the household.
Output, and it'll put it in your browser docs here. And in there we want to set up whatever you installed. If we go into settings and we go to stream, you can see that you're going to want to set up whatever setup and what our stream is. Have stream a good rule of thumb. You're 60 seconds left and 80, and you're going to want to.
She raises 2 children by herself. Originally, she worked at a clothing store, yet due to the pandemic, she lost her job as it made her life tougher.
When she heard about the sewing machine, her voice changed and she became happy. Later on, I asked for a second-hand sewing machine. They were willing to provide it. And since Rumazar is willing to help herself and her family, we were willing to lend a hand and help her out.
I made a dress for a little girl by myself. Completing this makes me feel so much joy.
Happily displaying her sewing products, Rumazar, after receiving the device, can assist her family in making income.
I want to work on the path that benefits others because I have received help from many people. It makes me stronger. So I told myself I have to help others, and others will treat me well. It's important, at least this is what I think. I wrote 1 ringgit on the paper because I don't have money to donate yet. But I have many pieces of paper with 1 ringgit right on it. It means that I have the will to do good deeds.
For the past 20 years, Rumazar suffered from psoriasis, as she can only control her condition through taking medicine. A second-hand sewing machine solved the family's issues. They no longer have to worry about missing out on a meal. The Health Challenge 21 event, hosted by the Hong Kong chapter, was a complete success. During the challenge, a team of doctors and kitchen volunteers worked closely as participants felt the benefits of a vegetarian diet. The body has changed after having 20 days of whole plant-based diet. The body indexes can tell the effect of the event. Nearly 30% of the participants have high triglycerides and have all improved significantly.
I'm so happy. I just happened that I have a medical appointment. So I told him my result during the follow-up. He also wondered why.
Bad cholesterol has improved. Some participants' triglycerides level have improved a lot. Their body weight and their blood pressure also have different degrees of improvement. So I think that this vegetarian plan was quite successful. The Hong Kong chapter promotes the Health Challenge 21 activity. Apart from team of doctors' full assistance, kitchen volunteers also undertook the mission of lunchboxes production.
I didn't seem to feel well in the first day. I feel a little uncomfortable after eating. It might be too hard, but when I eat now, it feels quite normal, just like having a white rice. Very comfortable.
It took over a month of preparation to the end of the event. Chen Naixing, when promoting a plant-based diet, felt hopeful during the companionship.
I'm very touched. Everyone is concerned about their health and is very supportive for the idea advocated by Master.
These participants took the first step in going vegetarian successfully. It is hoped that vegetarianism can be practiced in every household. In Taiwan, 2 non-vegetarian restaurant owners, Wang Shuhui and Chen Shenxiong, decided to switch from selling meat to vegetarian dishes after connecting with Zi Ji. Here's more.
The vegetarian restaurant is open in the lively area of Gongyi Road in Taichung City, and the storefront is also very eye-catching. 60% of the customers here are young people. How to grasp the taste of the customers is the taste of the chef.
Let them taste the freshest ingredients. Don't cook too much, not too much seasoning.
It tastes very unlike what I eat vegetarian dishes before. I can accept it.
Sometimes, I invited friends here to eat. Be a vegetarian, save the planet.
The owner, Chen Shenxiong, has been operating a restaurant that sells non-vegetarian dishes for nearly 30 years. He changes to sell vegetarian food because he agrees with the master's philosophy of promoting vegetarian food.
I'm a vegetarian now, and I'm willing to be a vegetarian for life. I made a wish that I'll apply what I have learned to vegetarianism throughout my life. This must be done as it is said. This is my vow to the master.
In the future, his vow must be fulfilled, and he will become the master chef of Taiwan.
Wang Shuhui has been cooking non-vegetarian noodles for 5 years and then turned into field of cooking vegetarian food.
After seeing a video of animals being slaughtered, sometimes when I am eating meat, the video will appear before my eyes. The master said that committing a crime on purpose is doubly guilty. This sentence shocked me a lot.
She hopes that the delicious vegetarian cuisine she has learned will make more people fall in love with it.
Glutinous rice is a specialty of Tainan Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Yizhi. In order to raise more money for the vaccine fund, More than 60 volunteers mobilized to cook together, supporting a good cause.
Accompanied by moonlight, the fragrance floats in the air under the courtyard tent.
The first time was 42 times, the second time was 42 times, then the third time was 35 times.
Glutinous rice has to move around when it's first put into boiling water, which is the secret to making chewy glutinous rice. 1,000 caddies of rice rely upon the men who must mix it by hand even though it is still hot. This is a difficult task they must do over and over again.
Because the process is relatively difficult, we still have to do it early.
Ziji volunteer Lin Yizi, who is the head chef of this project, designs the menu and also lends space in her home.
Like a little firefly, if everyone comes together, the scene is brighter.
She's a very senior sister. She's taking the lead to show us.
More than 60 volunteers came together with the same heart and mind, eventually making thousands of caddies of glutinous rice, which lets everyone eat and enjoy happiness.
How to prevent brain degeneration. Solutions include reading, learning new vocabulary, and art creation. In addition, being a volunteer is also an activity that stimulates the brain. Let's see what doctors have to say. Reading the newspaper attentively, 90-year-old Grandpa Zhu has a reading habit in life. Washing dishes and watching TV.
He gets up in the morning, washes his teeth and reads newspaper, and checks out his stock's investment. He has a great brain. Our brain is not as good as his.
It's actually a good habit for elders to read for 30 minutes every day. It's also good for their brain to use electronic products. 67-year-old volunteer You Shu-shen assisted people in operating the machines in the hospital. She looked handy. In fact, it's quite hard for her to remember the steps at the beginning, but she never gave up volunteering.
I will remember it every day, so I won't forget it easily. Otherwise, I would forget everything I learned today.
Insert jacket. Back the jacket. By holding the cable up, strip the cable
Just
jacket.
like when we were served by others, we also feel very happy.
You will also need to strip the individual conductors.
In addition to reading, learning new
Additional conductor.
vocabulary,
Now
art creation
conductors if
can train
needed.
the concentration of the
Now
elderly and
conductors
effectively
if
prevent their
needed.
brain degeneration.
Now, any additional conductors if needed.
Learning new
Trim off
things,
any
joining
additional
volunteering work or
recommend
social
results
events
of the connector.
can help activate
Be
their
aware
memory
front of the
or
connector.
stimulate their brain.
In the
During the
wire,
process,
this is
the elders can also
around
express
the
some of their
pins.
emotions
Then,
so that they will be more
attach
calm.
the plastic shell. The strain heated into the plastic shell. Squeeze the
Activating and
strain
stimulating
relief
the brain
tab onto the
every day
cable jacket
so that it will be more
and slide
sensitive and the body will be
6
healthier.
pins to the strain
At the
relief
year in blessing
tab
ceremony of
should
Taipei
be of
grade
side
level
of the
kindergarten,
necessary points on
65
the
students donated
information
bamboo
you have
tubes
available.
on behalf of
Attached
vaccine
to the
funds.
connector.
Here's more.
Place the metal shell around the marker side. It is the points on the connector. Corresponding to the results at the front of the connector. Recommend this example.
At the year in blessing ceremony of Taipei grade level kindergarten,
need to strip
children
the
made vows
individual
loudly,
conductors.
showing their love with practical
Our
actions.
corresponding shell around the pin tab should be seated into the light up the booth. Show
My
me
bamboo
cables.
tube is in the form of Chinese cabbage. I made it with my dad, and I brought it here today to pour out the coins to save others.
倒出来是要救人。
Waiting to pour out the coins in the bamboo tubes. The sound
Welcome
of
to
coins
Show Me
intertwine
Cables.
the most
Today
beautiful
we'll be
music.
taking a look at the commonly used but often the base of the connector.
Although they are quite young,
Then,
their bamboo tubes
the
are
base of
really
the connector.
overflowed. When we sew it,
them off
we have
any
to remind
addition-
ourselves
The front
to
of the
make
connector.
contributions to
Widely
society.
available necessary points on the connector. Attach the plastic shell and slide up the
To
boot.
practice goodness around
Outside
the
the
world,
connector.
a person is needed to take the initiative to do good, gathering everyone's stuff so as to raise vaccine funds.
The big bamboo coin bank reflects the kindness of the children and is also the best New Year gift for all the people in Taiwan. Singapore Chisao Camp is held online this year due to COVID restrictions. The team handling the lesson came up with Thai airline theme to take the kids around the world. The lessons were interactive and is a good summary to the lessons taught in the past year.
Corresponding to the pins at the front of the connector wiring, make sure to start the necessary points on the connector to the cable jacket and slide up the boot.
起飞咯！
我们现在在海地。
Flying to Africa, Haiti, Philippines, and Turkey, 60 Chisaos virtually board Thai Airlines to take a trip around the world on this 2-day camp.
We thought since we are still unable to travel leisurely, we can use the theme of Thai Airline and take everyone on a tour of the world and bring in the lessons of the 4 methods of pacification by taking what they have learned within the last year and put it in a summary of lessons.
When the plane gets hijacked, the participating Chisaos need to work together using what they learned to defuse the situation.
If it was just lectures, watching videos and reading PowerPoint slides, it might be stagnant. So he thought to make our lessons livelier by adding these drama units, which helps to convey the lesson more easily and accept the ideas better.
These last 2 years, the lessons in Zishao class have been interesting. We can see how much work the teacher volunteers have put in to teach us about Dharma, as it's not that easy to understand or teach.
When the camp was over, the soon-to-be graduates of Chisao class also shared about their experience from this year.
The lessons have taught us how to be a better person and how much respect and love will be useful to us in life. I understand better how to get along with others.
The thing that I feel I have improved on the most is how much more I understand about my parents' burden. I'm more independent and work harder in my schoolwork so they don't have to worry about me.
These Chisaos had a great year and made some self-improvements. Looking forward to what the next year will bring them.
In Taiwan, a group of people are often ignored out of the long-term care system. They are MDVI patients. Due to the inability to see, and along with other intellectual and physical disabilities, these patients require all-day care and are often rejected by nursing homes. Gladly, an institute in Taiwan, HMSH, takes care of patients with MDVI of all age groups. Let's join them there.
我要喝牛奶，我要喝水。
那你想喝什么？你去选。哪一个？
我要喝牛奶。
你要喝牛奶啊？是不是？现在达达就可以喝到好喝的牛奶喽。
Junta has a cerebral palsy and experiences high loads of eccentric muscle contractions. He also has limits in learning.
MDVI patients face challenges such as visual impairment and multiple illnesses. The crossover of diseases causes even more issues. To overcome this, professional teachers and devices are required, as it is normally lacking in normal special education institutes. In the past, the government promoted MDVI education plans, but for students with MDVI, the support in that particular program isn't enough.
At first, we wanted to build a school, and when Lady Chen Shujing saw MDVI patients along with other patients with disabilities, she saw MDVI patients as the most disadvantaged. So she thought of building an institute to provide residency and a school for MDVI patients.
HMSH not only provides education from kindergarten to high school, Foundation also provides residency for different age groups, including HMSH orphanage for patients from 5 to 30 years old, and the HMSH nursing home, hosting patients from 30 to 65 years old. Thus, MDVI patients from all over Taiwan may receive proper care. As Taiwan implemented the 12-year compulsory education plan, Schools below high school levels cannot reject students with MDVI, yet students above the age of 18 with MDVI will lack proper care in their following days, as they cannot fit into the criteria of daycare centers and nursing homes.
There are many children with MDVI, and it's very hard for them to enroll into HMSH due to the lack of the available rooms.
If a patient is accepted into an institute, the fees to pay are about 20,000 NT dollars per month, but at HMSH, there's an exception.
Patients under the age of 22 years old are free of charge, but for people around that age group, the government orders us to charge tuition. Yet, because most of our students here come from disadvantaged families, they can't pay 21,000 NT dollars, so we will help them by fundraising and paying the tuition for them.
哇，你今天好帅哦！
我要带他们去参观，
带我们去看你的房间。本身它是算高功能好的。
这是我的衣服，这是我的裤子。
When Zhang Wei was born, he was abandoned by his parents. At the age of 5, he was sent
You
to
can
HMSH.
do the actual stuff, which I've done videos on in the past, and we go to stats. We bring up our stats doc, which I've done videos on in the past. This is only going to show you the actual results of the initial stream, the one that you have set up under settings. It's not going to add on the rest of those outputs. That all happens through the plugin. Yeah, this one right here. So you're going to have to use your task manager information for your CPU and your Ethernet connection to determine whether you're actually streaming in the proper way and you're getting a good quality stream, or whether it's dropping all over the place. The stats box really isn't going to help you much here. You can definitely see that you're going to need a solid connection to do this. I mean, you're not just sending out one live stream now, you're sending out multiples. And you're also going to need a solid machine if you're going to do any rescaling or extra encoding. So if you're using a Mac, I would just use a service like Restream or Caster. In my experience, Macs struggle to encode one stream, and they're going to produce even worse results with more than one at the same time. Now, I will admit I haven't tested an M1 Mac yet, so you could give it a try, but I would set your expectations relatively low, to be perfectly honest with you. If you're having issues with your live stream and you want to see how to fix the most common ones, check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.
The younger generation to do charity. At the 4th exhibition held in Hwasan 1914, Creative Park, many attendees expressed the topics of eco-friendliness.
What's up, my YouTube friends? Today I want to show you how to use masks in OBS. I feel like this is a super low-used feature that has so much potential. I'm going to show you how to create shapes for your cameras and media files. Then I'm going to show you how to use these shapes to create awesome animated camera overlays and full live stream overlays that are completely animated. Really cool stuff. The best part is everything I'm going to show you today is totally free. So let's get to it. My analytics say that 91% of the folks that watch my content are not subscribed. And if you like my content and it helps you out, please do me a favor and help me out by subscribing to the channel. And click that bell so you don't miss any new content. To create these masks, we're going to use a free image manipulation tool called Pixlr. And don't worry, it is really easy to do. There's a link in the description so you can go to Pixlr, create your own masks, and follow along. I mean, that's the easiest way to learn. So let's jump into Pixlr. The first thing I want to do is create a simple mask to show you how this works. Let's start with a circle. Here we are in Pixlr, and I'm going to go to Create New. You can see I'm using Pixlr E here, and my live stream is in full HD, so that's good. I'm just going to put a name up here. I'm going to call this Mask 1. I want the background turned off, and then I can create right here. So here we are. If I hit that mouse button scroll, I can zoom out a little bit. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape here. So I'm going to go to Shapes, and I'm going to select the circle shape, and I'm going to change the fill to black. And then all I need to do is draw that circle onto my canvas. Now you're going to want to try to make this circle as large as you can because you can resize everything in OBS, but you want to get as much of your screen in as you can. I kind of didn't do it right here and had to go back and redo it, but now I'm going to go up to File and Save. And I want to save this as a PNG because we want that background to be transparent, and I'm going to click Download. And this is going to download it to wherever your machine downloads files, and this is usually set in your browser, so just keep that in mind. Here you can see I've switched over into OBS, and now we're going to add our mask. So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to add my camera. That's what I'm going to use the mask on, and I'm going to go in and select my device, and it's going to be my cam link, and set the custom and then resolution. I'm going to go down and choose my custom audio device. I want this to be my microphone that's on the camera, and once I have that set up, I'm going to click OK. Check my microphone. Everything's working good. Now I'm going to right click on that and go into filters. I'm going to click the plus under filters, and I'm going to select the image mask blend. You can name this if you want. Then I'm going to browse to the path where we created that mask, that circle mask, and it's mask 1. And then I'm going to drop down type, and I'm going to select alpha channel. And there we go. You can see our circle is created, and it just has our camera in that little circle. How awesome is that? Now we can resize this and put it anywhere we want on the screen. So this is a neat, easy way, if you don't have a green screen or something like that, to create an isolated kind of interesting look to your actual camera. So I can put a video up in the background, or it could be a game or anything, any media source in the background, and I can move this around. Now just so you know, you can use this mask not just on your camera, but on any media source. I'm guessing at this point you can see how powerful this can be already. But you know me, I want to take it to the next level. I'm going to show you how to create a camera overlay with animations as well. So here we are back in Pixlr E. I'm just going to change the name to Mask 2 and click Create. And I'm going to select Shape, and we're going to try a box this time. And I'm going to make sure that the fill is black again. And I'm just going to draw the box in here. And then I'm going to click this arrow up in the top to arrange it. I'm going to move it to where I want in my image. Now I don't want just a standard box shape, so I'm going to draw something on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select this lasso select tool, and then I'm going to choose the polygon lasso select right here, and I'm going to draw a little shape on here like this. And you just click at the corners and it's going to create that shape. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to select my arrow tool again, and I'm going to rasterize this. Then I can go up to edit and I can clear, and it's going to clear that little section for me. So now I'm going to go back to the lasso tool. I'm going to select polygon again. I'm going to create the same kind of edge over here on the right hand side. And since it's already rasterized, we don't need to rasterize it again. All we have to do is go up to edit and clear. And there we go. Now we have kind of a polygon shape for our mask, and I'm just going to click the arrange, and I'm going to reshape this a little bit. I can move these around to make this a little different of a shape. I'm going to square it up in the center. And there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this out. So File and then Save. Make sure you have PNG selected. We do want the transparency, and I'm going to download this. So that's going to download to a location on our hard drive that is already set up in our browser. Now I want to create some lines here, and I'm going to create lines that are black. And there we go. And I just want to adjust the size of these lines. So I'm going to come up here and adjust this, and just get the right thickness to the line that I want to use. And then I'm going to delete this one because it's not actually straight. So I just go over here and I right click on that layer and I send it to the dustbin right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another line, and you can draw straight lines by holding down the shift key and dragging it and then dropping it, and there we go. Now we have a straight line. Now I'm going to click the arrange button, and I'm going to just kind of align this to the very top of our shape. And I can resize it up using these little dots on the corners. And I just want to move this in so it's totally flush with the top of our box. And there we go. So now I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to right click on that shape, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to drag this down to the bottom. And once again, I'm going to try to line this up, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it again. And we're going to drag this next one up here, and we'll kind of place it in here, and I'm going to duplicate it again. And this time I can just use the arrow keys to move it. So I'm going to move it up into place using the up arrow. You can adjust anything in Pixlr just by using the arrow keys for fine adjustments. I'm going to duplicate it again. Now I'm going to move this one up with the arrow keys. And there we go. And once again, I'm going to duplicate this one. and move it with the arrow keys. And now I think I have enough lines in here. Now it's just a matter of squaring this up to make it look the way I want it to look, to give me the effect that I'm looking for. So I'm going to move this over, and at this point I'm just going to kind of rearrange all the lines to make sure that I have the look that I want. And some of these may need to be resized a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the main box. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, I think. I like the idea that the edges on both sides are going to poke out. So I'm going to make it like that. And then I'm just going to readjust the sizes again, try to line everything up. Then I'm going to save this out, and we're going to call this one Mask Fringe. And click download. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make all of the fringe invisible by clicking these little check marks next to those layers. I'm going to save this again, and we're going to call this one Mask Unfringe, or No Fringe. That's better. And we're going to click download. And you'll see why I'm doing 2 downloads for this in a moment. So now we're going to load up this fringe and just click filters, since we already have this circle mask on here. And I'm going to click browse under that mask. We're going to select no fringe, and you can see that gives us that cool shape that we had without any fringe on it. Pretty cool stuff. I'm going to just hide this background layer here so it makes it easier to see, and I'm going to make this a little larger, and then I'm going to right click and go to filters again, and let's change this to the fringe one so you can kind of get a look at what that looks like. And that looks pretty cool. So you could just go with it like that if you wanted to, and it looks actually really neat. And we'll turn on our media background right there. For some reason got moved, so we're going to move it back into the center. And obviously